What's going on, everybody? I hope you can hear me. That you are doing well. I hope that everything is going well on your end. I want to let you know that we have a guest with us today. We have Mr. Henriadam Brower. Before we move any
How you
further, you
doing?
have just came on the Good Trouble podcast. And so, guess what? Good Trouble has been created to do three things, right? We've been created to share engaging, thought provoking, and educational discussions that you all, our students, will be able to glean from and use some of these tools. And so today we have one of our honor students, one of our baseball players, one of our students that have even traveled abroad with Voorhees College, Mr. Henriadam Brower. If you're in the comments, clap it up for him, give him some virtual claps, make some noise for Mr. Henriadam Brower. Now, I know I gave a little introduction of who you are, but there may be some things, Henriadam, that I have missed out. So please let the people know that are watching today who Henriadam Brower is.
Hey, how you doing? As you already introduced me, my name is Henriadam Brower. I'm from Fayetteville, North Carolina. Sports management major, minor in psychology and business administration. Some of my hobbies I like to do is I like to play baseball, I like to bowl, I like to sing, I like to hang with my friends. That's pretty much it, man. I'm pretty sure Mr. Dude, we didn't have no travel to a whole other continent together. So I'm pretty sure he introduced me real well. I mean, knowing him and this our energy, I'm pretty sure he done covered everything. So
Right. So let's jump into it, man. Let's jump into it today. I think this is going to be a great discussion because you've done a whole lot of things since you've been on campus at Voorhees, and even before you came to Voorhees. Um, just being a dual credit student, and you came to Voorhees already having college credits, right? And how was that experience? Who was the one that encouraged you to take those dual credits to make you maybe a sophomore when you came? So just kind of talk about that experience for a quick second.
well, originally straight out of middle school, well, my sister was already in the program, but coming to National Early College High School.
Okay.
So pretty much seeing her go through it, and then my mom also encouraging me to, always excel and be the best that I can be. Always be ahead in life. She kind of like she encouraged me to go ahead and just join the and follow behind my sister's footsteps. So that's what I
Hmm.
did. Although me being a student athlete, I knew it was gonna be some troubles and stuff because it's how it works is my school is separate pretty much from the Cumberland County school system for public schools. It was kind of considered like a private school, and it was on a Fayetteville State's campus. A little different from Voorhees campus. So if you want to be technical, I've been on an HBCU campus going on for about almost 8 years now since my freshman year of high school. Freshman year of high
Wow.
school. Yeah,
Yeah.
so it actually so how the program works, your freshman year you get caught up on all your high school stuff. And then your sophomore year you still get up on your high school stuff, and then you're taking like two college credits each semester. By the time your
Hmm.
junior year come along, you only have like one high school class left, and the rest of it you create your own schedule. And Voorhees kind of we had our administrators, pretty much create our schedule. We might add on or withdraw after that. But in that program, I had to actually go in and I had to actually create my own schedule based on my schedule for that day. Yeah, so I've been doing that since pretty much since high school. If we want to talk about the campus life a little bit, being a freshman in high school and being on a college campus and college environment in some settings, it was, it could be kind of overwhelming as a 16 or to the as a 13-year-old, 15-year-old, going in high school and stuff and being around all those college students who are older than you. You had to carry yourself at a higher level than what you would do if you probably was at a public school with your friends goofing around and stuff like that. Because
Yeah.
if you didn't carry yourself at a certain level, then they would look at you a certain way,
Right.
and you didn't want to be that. Oh, he's in high school because they knew high school was on campus. But if you
Yeah.
didn't act like it, they didn't know you was in high school
Yeah.
unless they guessed by the way you look. But when it comes to the credits, man, it was definitely a battle.
Okay.
Being in high school, maintaining my high school classes and my college classes, plus me playing sports, like you said, me being an athlete, plus on the weekends, me having about 4 to 6 baseball games a weekend. So it was
Yeah.
definitely, I learned that time management was very important early, and I brought it over to where I'm at now till today. Time management is something that I'm big on. Sitting down and planning out my day and going about it that way because for the longest I wouldn't plan out my day and I forget to do this, I forget to do that. But I learned early in high school that I got to plan out my day and just being around those college students they would put me on game about certain not only just college life in general, but classes like how to pass a college class, how to pass a college class, how to act in college class, how to use your network, how to network. You know, they
Yeah.
taught me that early. You know, and I feel like that's what really put me ahead of the game.
Yeah. So I think that this is such a good foundation to kind of build our conversation from, because you being able to say that you've been doing dual credits since you were in high school, and you technically have been in college or on college campuses for 8 years.
Yeah.
And so you know the college life, you know the ins and outs, you know how to communicate, you know what it presents. And so we're in this new virtual phase, right? Where
Hmm.
8 years of what you know has been changed. 8 years of what you have always seen has been flipped upside down. I can't really go on campus like that anymore. My first semester was fully virtual. And even now, to a high extent, it's still somewhat virtual. So, how has that experience been personally for you, being a person that has been involved with the intricacies of college for 8 years? How has it been adapting to this new virtual phase, from just the pros and the cons?
Well, for me, kind of biased answer here. I'm gonna tell you why. Simply because me, I always like online classes better. This
Right.
personally me, I didn't like going in the classroom, sitting in the classroom from hour and a half, hour, because I know my attention span. Like I know I'm gonna be like just sitting there. And I'm going to hear what the professor's saying, but I'm going to listen, but I'm not going to hear him. If you know what I mean.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I just being there, just like dozing off or and stuff like that. But I feel like with the online, it is some challenges if you don't like online classes
Mm-hmm.
personally. But for me, I like online classes. So I just set reminders in my phone. Like I said, set reminders. If I know I got class at 12, I'm gonna set my reminder no later than 11:40. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Just set reminders so I can remember. Hey, let me go to this class. Holding myself responsible and accountable for my classes and stuff. Because I know I got class. I know I'm still here to go to school. But with this coronavirus, like I having to wear a mask right now. It sucks, wearing a mask right now. I mean, that's the one thing that was different
Yeah.
than for my past 8 years of me, like just being on college campuses. But for the most part, man, the online, I've always been an online guy, always.
Mm.
Always
Okay.
been online. So it really didn't affect me as much as someone who might need to be in the classroom and need to hear the teacher telling them. Because I know me speaking with students, a lot of them like, man, I need to be in the classroom and them telling me, hey, or sitting going through it with me like face to face, because that's some people's learning style. For me,
Yeah.
you can give me an assignment and I can read it and I can figure out how to do it. Or if I have a question, I might email you and you give me an answer, and then we can go from there.
Mm-hmm.
That's how I've always been, because I see it this way. I got class at 11. I go into that class at 11. I knock out my work, and then I'm done. Or I go and I knock out. The good thing about online classes, I'm able to go and I'm able to knock out my assignments
Yeah.
ahead of time. Unless I just feel like procrastinating that week. I'm human. I procrastinate at times,
Yeah.
but that's definitely it's like it's some pros and some cons to what's going on right now.
Yeah.
Definitely some pros and some cons to what's going on right now.
So I'm giving some tools in the comments right now, because you said set reminders and you said complete your work ahead of time. So I'm trying to make sure that the people that are listening, whether they're students or faculty or staff, they can
Yeah,
share this stuff with their students and say, hey, Henriadam is an online student too. He said set reminders in your phone, and he said complete your work ahead of time. So this may be stuff that can people can use right now, and
yeah,
the necessary tools. They may have been struggling in the first semester, or may be struggling right now, and so this is helpful. And,
yeah.
and so since we're talking about tools right now in the pandemic, we're talking about creating stuff that can help you move forward. In this pandemic, what have been some positives for you? There have been a lot of entrepreneurs that have came up
Hmm.
during the pandemic, a lot of ideas, a lot of innovation, a lot of creativity. Have you had any moments of creativity or innovation since the pandemic?
Definitely, man. I was actually able to start my own brand called Henriadam Corporation. It was definitely a struggle at the beginning. It started off with a dream, became a reality.
Okay.
So I woke up one morning. I said, "Hey, mom, I'm gonna start making T-shirts." I always been crafty. I always been able to do like the little paracord bracelets. I always been able to like do the origami and stuff like that. I was like, "Mom, I'm gonna start making T-shirts. Mom, I gotta start making T-shirts." Woke up. I'm not gonna lie to you. I blew at least a grand trying to start the business. At least
Okay.
a grand trying to start the business between equipment. between messing up on t-shirts, between me getting the wrong vinyl and going to shirts and stuff. But over this time, and I was able to grow my mind mentally, and I was able to grow this brand that I'm starting called Henriadam Corporation. Actually have one of the hoodies on right now. My saying is bingo, believe in God only, and that's really what got me through this pandemic. Believing in God only, and me
So
having this.
wait. Let me ask you a question because I don't want you to speed through this. I want you to really allow the people to hear it. So Ernie Adams Incorporated is your business name.
It's my brand, yes sir. It's my business name, yes sir.
Yeah. So where did Ernie Adams come from? What does that name mean?
Actually, it came from my first name is Henriadam. So all I did was reverse the Henry and made it Ernie Adams. So it add a little flair to it. Instead of me just
Okay.
saying Henry Adams Incorporation, I want to say Ernie Adams Incorporation. Kind of like a
Okay.
Michael Kors, kind of like a Calvin Klein, kind of like the Gucci, like a designer. So even with the logo right here, as this on this beanie, it means that the it's an I and an A. It's an I that points into an A with a crown that
Hmm.
represents God's favor that He has for us. So that's pretty much the meaning behind my brand. Uh, just keeping God first, believing in God only, trusting God through the process. That's exactly where I had to. That's exactly what I had to do during this pandemic.
Okay. Wait 1 second. Renisha said, "Where can we buy merchandise?"
Okay, we keep our merchandise. First, right now, if you're on campus, you see me around campus all the time. You definitely hit me up. A lot of people have actually started buying merchandise already. The people that's on campus, people that's off campus. Right now, I'm revising my website. Right now, adding new things to my website and doing some graphic designs to my website. But you can follow me on social media, and we will be posting new merchandise soon by the end of this month. By
So
Ernie
what's your
Adams.
what's your social media? What's
Uh,
your Instagram page?
it's Ernie Adams. It is IRNE8
I IRN
E8
E8
A D
AD.
ADAMS. Ernie
Okay.
Adams, and it will pop right on.
Instagram is Ernie Adams. Okay. Trying to make sure that the Instagram. Okay. All right. So Nisha, that's where you can purchase your merchandise from is from this Instagram handle. If you go to that page, Ernie Adams. Did I spell it correctly?
Yes, you did. Yes, you did.
Okay, so that's where you can purchase it from. So, Henry, let's talk a little bit about this bingo that you have
Okay.
on. You,
Okay.
you, you kind of sped through it a little bit, but I want you to go through it one more time. Let the people know what bingo stands for. And bingo is actually an extension of Ernie Adams. It's in the same clothing
Yeah,
brand.
it's in the same clothing brand. I get asked all the time, why did you incorporate it, or why did you go LLC? I went in incorporation because when you think about the big brand Nikes, right? You have your Nike Air Force Ones, you have your Nike Huaraches, you have your Nike Air Maxes, but those are different style shoes, but they're all under the same incorporation, all under the same brand. And with me, I want to have different branches such as that, such as Nike. You know what I'm saying? So now Bingo is my faith apparel line.
Okay.
Soon I will come up with a workout apparel line. So we'll come out with the professional business wear line. So it's just like I said, I'm trying to grow a brand. With Bingo, it's just my faith apparel, believe in God only. Exactly what I have to do in my life. The reason I actually started this brand, the reason I actually started this business is because as a kid, I used to be bullied as a kid, and this is what really got me through me being bullied. I would see people with different sayings on their shirt, and it would get me through it. And between me praying and seeing the shirts, it inspired me. So my saying for my brand is aspiring through fasting. You putting on this
Okay.
bingo, it's bingo is more than just a saying, it's an affirmation. So you putting on this bingo, you're pretty much saying you're gonna have a conversation with someone that you might not necessarily have a physical conversation with.
Yeah.
Someone you might just be walking through the mall, you might be going through something you might see someone that has a shirt on that says bingo, believe in God only. You're like, you know what, I still believe in God only through what I'm going through right now. And trust, or you might have a shirt on that says trust God from my brand. And somebody may be like, dang, I should trust God through what I'm going through. So it's really I decided to use the platform of fasting to speak to people.
Okay. I like that. You're a walking affirmation.
Pretty much, yes, sir.
Literally a walking affirmation. So I think that's great. I think that those that are watching, I actually have something from Ernie Adams. I have what do you call it?
What, a
Uh,
hoodie? Or
a hoodie.
a hoodie.
Hoodie or athletic, sweatshirt. You can call it. I'm not sure, but it's really nice. It's really nice and it feels really good. So I think you guys should go purchase your.
Hey,
Being sorry,
mi-
go ahead. Go ahead.
yeah, and like you said, like I said, with the brand, man, it's inspiring through fashion. If you can share your experience with you wearing, you actually got pretty much a custom order, a release that nobody has, which is the athletic wear half zip with the logo. Yeah, yeah.
Right.
But
Nobody has it.
can you share your experience with that when you wore that? How made you feel when you wore that? Did anybody say anything to you about the brand? Anybody ask you where you got it from? You know?
Yeah, immediately as I wore, people kind of had that. It's kind of like the second eye, the second look type of thing. They were like, "Okay, so what is that? Where did you get it from? I've never seen it before." So it was very distinct, and so people wanted to know, what is this? This apparel that you have on? I think I may want to get me one. So immediately, man, people jumped on it when I wore it. So it has that
Definitely.
that just very you know it stands out. I'll just say that it really does stand out. So let's go to another question really quickly as our time is moving. I want to ask you. You participated in an ox battle. They call it ox wars, ox battle.
Yeah, yes, it is.
It was you versus Mr. Voorhees. What was that experience like? Because that was during homecoming. So you had you, Mr. Voorhees, you had Miss Timmons,
Yeah, the versatile.
Farnsworth,
Yeah,
Bentley. You were a celebrity that night.
yeah,
how was
man.
how was that
If I'm
experience?
being completely honest, man, I did. It was good. It was a very fun, exciting experience. Just still having that sense of feeling like I was still on campus, even though it was virtually.
Ah,
You
okay,
know,
okay, yeah, yeah,
but if I'm being completely honest, I didn't even know I was on the phone with I was on the odds battle with a celebrity at
yeah,
first until I actually got on there. I didn't know I was gonna be on there with him in general, but to actually go on there, I did some research on him, which he seemed like a pretty cool guy. But that experience was really great. I lost the ops core battle,
it's
but
okay.
that happens. Every dog has his day. Not everybody has good taste in music, which is okay.
Right,
It's okay
right,
because
right, right.
But other than that, it was a great experience, man. I highly recommend it to students get involved with the virtual stuff we have going on because y'all are really trying your best to make it all over on campus, and we can't be with each other physically at times or all in big one group. Y'all trying to make us still feel like we are part of like the events that they have going on and feel like we are part of the campus. So we would just want to be on campus board.
Talk about that for a minute. I think it's great that you shared that for those students that are listening. You said being a part of the Ox battle made you feel like you were still on campus. Talk about that for a minute
Yeah,
because I know
because
last semester it could have been very just depleting in a way where people kind of
yeah.
depressed, unencouraged. But you say it literally felt like you were back on campus. Talk about that for a minute.
It felt like I was back on campus because like everybody was involved in it.
Yeah,
Although it was a virtual, everybody was involved. Even the old heads was there. Some of the people who was actually still in school now was there. They was just commenting their opinion. Everything was just felt like I was actually there, although we was on the phone, although it was virtually. So
yeah,
that's what I mean by that. Like everybody was involved. Everybody was lit. Everybody was having fun. Everybody was making each other laugh. It
yeah,
was just a great experience. Felt like I was actually there. So I mean,
yeah,
if you can make that, y'all are really trying our best to make that, like I said, that on campus experience. Although you might be off campus, but us as students, it's up to us to if we want to get involved or not. Even when we did have events on campus, some of us didn't show up to the events.
yeah,
It just depends. It had to really catch our interest for us to go to. If I'm being honest with you, so
yeah, yeah. I agree. I think it's great that you were able to get that experience and articulate that to another student. Like, hey, these virtual events, even though you're not in person, if you're engaged, if you want to be a part of it, you feel like you're there, even though you're not there. So that's a great just tool to take for those that are watching, man. I think that's great. So let's go to our last question. Maybe I may add another one. I'm not sure.
okay,
But
okay.
right now, this is set to be our last one. Let's talk about your study abroad experience.
Oh man.
You've now been able to go to Africa 2 times, and I don't want to share this. I want you to share it, but you've been able to
Okay.
travel, and you've had some very very intriguing, I'm sure, intriguing and just valuable experiences. So one, let's first ask this question: where did you travel to, and how long were you there?
Um, I traveled to Ghana. We was there for like a week and a half. Traveled to Liberia. We was there for a week, like a week and a half, roughly. Um,
So was Ghana a week and a half or 2 weeks?
uh,
I think it was 2 weeks.
the way it no, but listen to me. The way how fast it went, it felt like a week and a half. How
Right.
quick it
Okay.
went. So,
Okay. Okay.
but
Okay. That's a
we
good
was
way.
there definitely okay 2 weeks. But Liberia week and a half. But the experience was great. I
Yeah.
highly recommend it, for students to definitely look into traveling abroad. We even had some students who was their first time ever flying, and they was able to
Yeah.
get through it. Imagine you going to Africa for your first time flying. Wow, it's
Yeah.
like wow. Although you're on a plane for a little bit, I mean, the way I like the way that Voorhees had it set up, where we would fly on a plane for a few hours, we get off the plane for a few hours, fly on the plane for a few hours, get off the plane for a few hours. It wasn't a straight shot there.
Yeah.
I felt like it was a straight shot there. It would have been more draining and stuff. But I like the way that they had did it. Just the traveling process. Another thing, I like how I was connected with big name schools. People from Morehouse, people from Spelman, people from Morgan State, people from Texas Southern, people from Hampton University. When I went to Liberia, when I went to Ghana, it was just us and Benedict. And I also, not leave out Benedict. Benedict was also on the trip to Liberia, and Clapper was also on a trip from Liberia. So it wasn't just students from Voorhees that you see every day. It was students that you didn't even know that you had to connect with, and now we still talk to this day. You
Yeah.
never know. It was like a big networking system, which I liked, and I loved it because all of us outside of our comfort zone, was causing us to come together as one, and also
There you
even if we didn't like each other, we had to respect each other. Even if you
go.
didn't
Right.
like each other, we had to respect each other, and we had to help each other get through the process that we was going through in Ghana or Liberia, because it's a culture shock at first, But the one thing that they do that I love that the school did, it made you feel really comfortable. And another thing I like that the people who when I was in Africa did also, they made you feel like you were at home, like you was a part of Africa, like you was their brother and their sisters,
Yeah. Yeah.
which was great.
Let's talk about some additional moments in your travel. Let's talk about some of your most valuable experiences, because in Ghana
Uh,
you were presented opportunities to actually go on the campus of the University of
University of
Ghana,
Ghana.
talk with professors and be in sessions. And then you have Liberia, where you were part of service learning projects where you were able to actually teach kids certain topics or certain
Mm,
subjects, and being able to meet governmental officials. So let's talk about some of your most valuable
mm.
experiences. When you talk about, I left from this program, or I left from this study abroad experience more enlightened than I thought I would have. So let's talk about that for a minute. Some of your most valuable experiences.
Definitely. Uh, Definitely the one that really caught me off guard was the slave castle. I mean, the slave castle on Cape Coast of Ghana. It really, just the way they know their history. You know,
Yeah,
the history that we're taught in elementary school is not the same. African American history we're taught in elementary school, even in college. I've taken it at Fayetteville State University. It's
yeah,
not the same history that they was telling us about when we was actually in Ghana.
yeah,
So it kind of opened my eyes, like, dang, I've been misled this whole time. Another thing that I felt like I missed out on was my culture. I could have been talking to my cousin and not even known it. I could have been talking to a family member
right,
and not even known it, because I was robbed of my culture. I was robbed of that, before I was even born, because due to the slaves. The way that they told you the story, the way that they sold the slave castle to you, just seeing what people went through and people experienced, you being a human, like you being a human, and you having to be in the dark for 3 months.
yeah,
Like you drive, in the dark. Not only that, they added you around nothing but walls of cement that's hot. It gets hot in Africa. So it's, or you having to use the bathroom on each other. That is, that's some. I can't even imagine how gruesome, that is. That was.
yeah,
And it's the thing that really shocked me when it was like, when we walked in the slave castle, Mr. Blue, we saw like clothes on the ground. We were like, why are these clothes on the ground? They had got what, like 16 people, I want to say they said 16
Yeah.
people to participate and actually live in the slave castle and go through what the slaves went through. And they said that if you dropped out, then you just dropped out. But some people wasn't even able to finish the
Yeah.
process. So that really opened my eyes. Like our ancestors was really forced to go through that.
Yeah.
They didn't.
Yeah.
It wasn't no opting out.
Yeah.
And honestly, the one thing they really told me that really, we look at the world now, with this discrimination and stuff that's going on right now. It's been going on for years now. This is undercover. But we talk about the discrimination. Even when we was even when they was telling us in the slave castle, they came in, they figured out the system, they separated each other, they separated them and got them against each other. Then that's when they took over.
Yeah.
Right now, and I feel like right now the government is really trying to separate us, so now they can take over right in
Yeah.
front of our eyes. You understand? So it's just very eye opening. That was very eye opening. Just being in a dorm also at University of Ghana was really great too. Being in a dorm, it gave me like a college experience. Another thing we cannot miss to do with the we got a chance to go and play the drums and got a chance to go and experience the dance and learn different
Yeah.
dances that they
Yeah.
did, different
Yeah.
tribal dances that they did, the
Yeah.
meaning behind it. And miss, me and you laughed at first when they was talking about it's gonna cost rain when they did the little dance we was eating.
Right. Right. Right.
Like a few minutes after they got done dancing, it started raining. And we were just both of us just like, wow. I never forget we just sitting there like, wow, it just really started raining after they said they're about to call for the rain.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it was just
Now,
it just opened my eyes. I was like, wow.
quick thing, because the Ghana experience was a little bit different than the Liberia experience. Let's talk about the
Liberia,
Liberia
yeah,
experience when you were not just playing with the kids, but teaching them things
teaching the
at
kids.
Owens Grove High School and middle school, and then you have the the orphanage, right? So let's talk about those two experiences before we end.
Well, okay, so I'm gonna go back real fast. The Ghana experience, I actually was able to go. Also, we went to some schools also with Ghana, but when we went
Right,
to the
right,
school
right,
with Ghana, it was more so like welcome us. There were, there was dancing, But one thing that we did in Ghana that we didn't do in Liberia, and it's a little fun fact, they gave us two seeds, Mr. Dude. I don't know if you remember that. They gave us two seeds. We planted our trees, and they told us to
yes,
name it. Right. A little
yeah,
fun fact. I actually named one of my seeds Ernie Adams because that's one of the brands that's like my brand I actually have now. I actually named one of it Ernie Adams, and I planted it.
yeah,
Prayed over it, and I planted it. And now it's now, like I said, it's a dream that became it's now reality. So I just want to throw that in there. But also with the Liberia trip, man, going to the orphanage, that was very, 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 very eye opening. And also
yeah,
a very, very, very humbling experience. I'm gonna tell you why. Because when we was there, I don't know if you remember, Mr. Dude, we saw these group of guys that was over there. Everybody else was playing, we was having fun. I was playing soccer with some of the kids, but me and you was walking. We saw this group of guys. They just looked so like worried and disgusted, right? And we was just like, man, we're gonna walk over there and talk to them and see what's up. And we went over there. We was talking to the guys, and they was just like, man, we don't know what we're gonna eat at tonight.
mm,
We don't know where our meal coming from tonight. We
yeah,
don't know. We don't know.
yeah,
We just don't know. Like we got a family. We just don't know what we gonna eat.
yeah, yeah,
We haven't eaten in 2 days. It said we haven't eaten in 2 days.
yeah,
So that was really like wow. And then you also had this is what really drove me when I was in Liberia, man. I asked the kids. I said, man, how do you get through this? Like, remember I don't know if you remember the guy name. We was sitting on top of the
I remember
we
his
was
name.
paying.
Yeah, I remember his name.
What's his name? What's
I
his
think you're
name?
talking about Habib or Van Val. Either
Habib. Yep, Habib.
yeah,
Habib, because Habib said he wanted to be be a preacher, be a pastor. And he
right.
was like, man, I walk by faith and not by sight. He said, I walk by
There
faith
you
and
go.
not by sight. I know God's coming back. He said, I know this is, a lot of this stuff that we have right now is very earthly. He said that. A kid about my age, he said that. So it was just like, wow. But to get into I was also, we missed out. Well, I was also able to meet a famous Nigerian artist by the name of Flavor. I don't know if you remember that when we was at the little resort. by the name of Flavor. He was sitting in
I
there.
do remember that.
And I
Yeah.
actually it goes back to the network. It goes back to the networking, man. Like the day before that, we was at the dancing center and was dancing with this famous dancer. I can't remember her name, but it was dancing with this famous dancer, and she was
Yeah, she's one of the cultural
it's
dancers
yeah,
in Liberia.
exactly. And we were so me and you were so involved with her, and she was just teaching us stuff and having so much fun. Everybody was involved, but me and you, when we take that dancing into a whole nother level, when we in Africa, man,
Right,
we want to experience that feeling. So when us being so involved with her, when she saw us, she was like, "Oh, y'all too, come with me." And we were actually one of the only few that was able to go back there with him and actually meet him because
right.
of our networking, because of what we did there. And this is a little fun fact also. I still talk to the people that I met in Africa.
Let me ask this question because it's a lot of stuff being shared, and I I think it's really really important for people to hear the tools that you're able to glean from, right? The information, the people, the
Hmm.
networking, the ability to be able to learn in a different country, in a different continent, which is so important because
Hmm.
now you talk about global competency, right? You talk about you being able to compete against those that are applying for the same jobs that you're applying for. And how can you now
Yeah.
leverage
Yeah.
some of the things that you've gained? You can now say, I've been to this place and I've been able to help or assist or have service
Well,
learning or study abroad. And so these are literally tools, man, that you can utilize as you move forward in your career. I want to ask one more question before we end because I see we
okay.
have people that have been with us right now, and I'm very appreciative that you stayed throughout this conversation. But let's talk about this. Let's end with this. So students are coming back to campus. For some people, this may be their last semester here at
Hmm.
Voorhees. For some people, this may be their first semester or second semester. What is your encouragement in maybe 1 minute and 30 seconds or so? At 1 minute and 30 seconds, what's your encouragement to
Uh,
them right now? I need
take.
I need for you to go on your Eric Thomas kind of thought
Uh,
process for a bit. I need for you to go there
man.
really quickly.
All right, man. My encouragement to them would be just take advantage of what you have on campus. Take advantage. It's a small campus. I would definitely recommend keeping your circle small campus, but also get involved with different events on campus that we might have virtually. Also go in and what you, of course, with your mask and stuff. Talk to the main people. Like you got Mr. Marion, right? We got like you, great person to talk to. With this campus, although it's a small campus, it's a rural area, and I'm coming from a city, big city called Fayetteville. Um, I learned really, really fast that with this campus, it's what you make of it. So if
Yeah,
you sit in your dorm room all day and you just chill in there and then you don't do your schoolwork, you don't manage your time right, then you're gonna struggle. But you have to get out and experience, the college. Like you have to get out and make new friends and network because you never know who you're gonna run into. And now another thing, all you might not like the person, but respect them because that same person that you might not like might be that same person that get you that knows somebody to get you that internship job. I know somebody that puts you on with your career job or whatever. But I'm saying that to say this, man. You just encourage each other and also have positive energy on campus because it's
yeah,
it's always it's easy. Even with any college life, it is easy to get involved with the wrong people. you know
yeah,
surround yourself around people that's going to get you to where you want to get to, where you're going. You got to ask yourself, is this person being more of a burden to me, or is this person helping me grow as a person, grow as a young
yeah,
lady, grow as a young man? Or I mean,
yeah,
right now, the partying and stuff is cool, but but you get to your junior sophomore year, you only got, I mean, your junior senior year, you only got 2 years. After that,
yeah,
you got to know what you're doing after that. Because then
yeah,
you really gonna hit the real, you're really gonna hit the real world, real life. Life's gonna hit you.
yeah.
So
That's good.
that'd
Let
be
me
my
stop you
advice to
there.
them.
Let me stop you right there really quick because I hear your inner Eric Thomas rising now. So I need to, make sure that we keep the Eric Thomas contained a little bit. But let's let's talk about this really quickly before we end. You said something about how the real world is going to hit you, that you have to get prepared. What's your career path? What do you plan to do after you graduate? I know you're a
Uh,
junior now, but what's your
yes,
plan?
sir. I want to play professional baseball, but I also want to open up my own facility.
Okay.
Also, along with my brand, I already started one of my businesses I want to open up, which is Henriadam Corporation, is my clothing line. I want to open up my own indoor facility, which I've been technically and a facility helping management facility going on 6 years now. I started off young. You started off young. I want to teach kids skill development and fundamentals and life skills. When it comes to baseball, but also I want to open like a multi-indoor facility sport arena. So it's gonna have like two half-inch, half court soccer field. It's gonna have a basketball gym, and it's gonna have batting cage. Pretty much for those kids in those schools that facilities, all their facilities outside. When it rains, they can come to my facility and train.
Yeah. Okay.
So I want to open my own. I want to be a facility manager. I want to open up my own facility. So I want to start. I want to go into open up another business. Yeah, sure.
Yeah. So, young black excellence. That's what Renisha said. What can we expect from Mr. Brower next? That's her question. I know you said something about you
What can we?
once you graduate, but what's next? I guess in this semester, what's next for you? What's the next clothing apparel design that you plan on doing? If you want to share that, because I know that may be some exclusive stuff, but what's next?
I mean, well, one of them I already have on now, which is the Believe in God Only hoodie. One of them I already
Okay.
have on now. I also want to get into hopefully towards the spring as we go into the summer. I want to get into starting to actually do some workout apparel and
Yeah.
getting into like more of. I looked at something. I thought about doing like a cross bag. You know how we had in Africa, cross
Yeah.
bag, cross bag and stuff. So I'm really right now. I'm really just getting settled back into school. But I had different ideas that's coming up. Definitely big things coming up with Henriadam Corporation. You just have to stay tuned.
Okay. Well, Ranisha, there you go. There goes your answer, Miss Ranisha, that's watching with us. Thank you all for tuning in to another episode of Good Trouble. If you're going to get in any trouble, this is what John Lewis said. I didn't say this. He said, if you're going to get in any trouble, get in necessary trouble, get in some good trouble. So good trouble is for us to make change, make positive change. Like she said, young black excellence, who Henriadam is with us today. He's making some good trouble. So we want to thank you for coming on to our
Thank
podcast
you for having
discussion.
me.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. This was a great conversation. We got to do something else in the future. I'm sure that you'll love to come back and
Okay.
we'd love to have you. So thank you all for
Yes,
joining
sir.
us. And we'll talk to you again later this week. We have another guest coming on. And I think you guys will enjoy it. So we'll talk to you soon. Have a good one.